Okairi Nasai Minasan. Today we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 20. This is a really fun and interesting episode because we actually got a lot of JoJo pause and a lot of weird Rine Kudo moment in this episode. But with that being said, I think we need to start from the beginning. So from right the get-go, we actually saw that the family of Renge is actually taking care of a little shrine of Kitsune itself, and it is not a reference to Gits, okay? Kitsune is a yokai in the Japanese mythology, something like that. So don't get too hung out like, hey, that is a Gits reference. Let me tell you, it is not a Gits reference. It is just a yokai reference itself. So after that, we get to see Renge going back there, meeting with the grandmother, and the grandmother is so overprotective over Renge itself. So actually, I was a little bit hoping for us to actually get to see why Renge is so obsessed with money, but I felt like that part of her characters kind of like seems lost throughout the episode that we actually get to know her. It almost seems it's like the only time we actually get to see Renge being a lover of money is in the beginning of the first episode she was being introduced. Like that's it, okay? Like I don't think we even get to see like how Renge is like actively selling like Chemy Cards and all those stuff. Like I feel like all those plot points has been dropped for the character of Renge, and she became a totally different character than I actually expect her to be, because like at first I thought that she's gonna be the money loving senpai that is just gonna betray them at the sight of money, but turns out Renge is not that type of person at all. So it really makes me surprised that they kind of like totally forgot that part of Renge's personality. And when she go back to her hometown, like that entire plot point that I was like waiting for, like maybe they are finally gonna like maybe just like talk something about why she is being like this, like why she is acting the way she is. Like all of those are like totally gone. We don't have any hint about that personality or that character of her at all in the story. So like we know, like there's no even mentioning of her like wanting to save money and all those stuff anymore. Okay, like she didn't even ask money from the mother of Houtarou by walking at the shop itself. So maybe I'm just like thinking too much into this, but I just felt like if they just been consistent with the character of Renge, I felt like it is just gonna be so good. Because one thing they did really well, and I know they care about their character, is because in this episode we get a consistency of character for Rine itself. Because Rine, back in the I forgot which episode where Kajiki meets his first love, the lover of UFO. Like I thought that at that episode, the Kyoto episode, we actually get to see Rine like being like really happy when she get to see all the haunted stuff, and like she's loving it, okay? She's loving all the haunted stuff, and when we actually get to see her meeting a yokai in this episode, she is excited as well. Like she is smiling, she is laughing, she is screaming, but she is still happy again. Like she's like, I'm not sure if you kind of like understand what I'm trying to say. It's like you just imagine like all this while you always wanted to meet a dragon, but the moment you meet it, you're like, oh shit, that is a dragon, I finally get to meet one. But at the same time, you'll be like, oh shit, that is a dragon, I better hide, if not I'm gonna get eaten by the dragon, something like that. So it's like a very like you're excited, but at the same time you're also scared kind of situation going on with Rine here. And I just felt like if they can do that for Rine, why can't you do that for Renge itself? So it's like it's not like there is a personality shift in halfway through the story itself. Like we saw her getting serious and learning kind of like combat alchemy to fight with the abyssal sister, but that doesn't mean that she needs to stop being a money lover or something like that. Like she is characterized as someone who love money. Like she's being shown holding money in the opening song, and yet we don't actually get to see those things at all. Maybe I'm just complaining too much about like very, very minor thing, but I just felt like if you look at it in a big picture, like Renge as a character, I felt like they kind of like changed their idea of who they want her to be halfway through the story. Like even after she got introduced, they'd be like, maybe we're gonna change things around for our Renge-chan here. Okay, so that is what I thought. Okay, so really, really fun stuff. Really, really fun character moment we get to see for Renge and Rinne, but most importantly, the one that I would really, really want to talk about is our JoJo boy, Starshine Hoshino. He is the one that do all the JoJo pose, and he is the one that overhype himself out, and he is the one that Kajiki follows in this episode, and I absolutely love his character because if you really see him, like he is not someone that is bad, okay? Like he is someone that is like he is pure good, but then at the same time he is lazy as well, because we actually saw him like he's like trying to become a monk and something like that, trying to awaken her, like his spiritual energy and all those stuff. And that is the moment where he actually get to find all the Chemys itself, like all the planetaries, the cosmic planetary Chemys itself. So it really makes me wonder, like, why doesn't like the sun and the moon actually like follows the rest of the planetary Chemy itself? Like we also don't see Gaia like coming out and be like, hey, whack the shit out 5 of the Chemy card itself. So yeah, I'm really excited to see all the 5 planetary cards here. It will mean that in this episode alone, at the beginning of this episode, we established that they already managed to capture 78 Chemy cards. It's a really, really fun time when they actually give us a proper number of how many Chemy we have captured so far. And now in this episode alone, we got introduced to 6 more Chemy cards. How crazy is that? We got the 2 yokai and the 4 planetary Chemy that has been introduced. So immediately they are gonna cut off another 6 from the list, and it put us on the number of 84. If by the end of the next episode, they Houtarou actually managed to capture the Chemy itself. Okay, so I'm really, really excited to see how things are gonna go, because I'm pretty sure Hoshino's card, like the Starshine card, at the end of the day is gonna belongs to our girl Rinne itself, because she is using the cosmic card and also the fantasy card itself. Okay, because like all her combo so far is the sun and the unicorn, and we got Cuberus and the moon. So definitely what I'm expecting here for Majid final form is gonna be Gaia and also Dragonalis. Okay, it's gonna be one of the best final form that we are gonna see. And speaking of final form, for those who are like doesn't actually consume Kamen Rider content on YouTube, there's actually a trailer where they actually introduce Gorgeous Legend, okay, which is the final form of Legend, and it looks fantastic. I really, really love it. But it also means that the leakers that leaks Gorgeous Legend back in the day is correct. It would mean that Rainbow Gotchard is definitely coming. In the previous episode, I actually mentioned like how like Rainbow Gotchard is not gonna come, but instead is actually gonna be a form for Majid itself. I think I'm just gonna like eat my own words on that. I'm gonna be totally wrong at the end of the day. So I'm really, really excited to see how the story is gonna progress moving forward, and I'm really, really curious to see like whether or not Starshine Hoshino is actually gonna be like keeping his power with the 5 Chemys or not, because right now the Chemy cards all choose to follow Hoshino for some weird reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe they just love to be free. Maybe they just love his weird energy and all those stuff. Like he can't really like tap into the power of the Chemy. Like it's almost like he is like all the planetary Chemy cards are just like chilling around his neck, and he's like doesn't even know that they are just chilling there, okay, rather than giving him power, something like that. So it's like definitely really fun stuff that we actually get to see. And I think this episode is also one of the episodes, like it's been a long while since I saw a ragdoll stunt scene, okay, like they literally threw a ragdoll down the cliff just to get the shot of Hoshino falling from the cliff itself, and I love it. I really love that because it's been so long we actually get a stunt scene like that, and it looks amazing, okay? It's just definitely amazing thing that we actually get to see. But another thing that I really love in this episode is that they are really testing the limit on how close they can actually be with the camera itself. Like there's like literally a lot of scene where we actually get to see them like going close to the camera, like for some weird reason, like they're growing closer and closer. I was like, bro, step back, man, like step back. But really fantastic stuff we get to see here for Kamen Rider Gotchard. I kind of like accepted the fact that Kamen Rider Gotchard is not gonna be as drama. I'm so sorry, I lost my voice for a moment there. It's not gonna be as dramatic as Kamen Rider Gears. It's not gonna be full of like family feel stuff like Kamen Rider Revives. It's gonna be its own thing, which is comedy, which is a lot of fun stuff. Like when it's time to get serious, like, you know, like it's not gonna be that serious, okay? But then again, I love how the story goes right now. Like just go with fun all the way before we got into the serious stuff one again, okay? So with that being said, that is all from me on Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 28. If you made it this far into the video, means you love my content, and I would love you to comment the word Subway in the comment section below to let the people know you actually finished the video. Why Subway? Because subscribe is the way to monetization, and I'm really excited for that. I'm looking forward for your support, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.